Gregor Townsend has named his 6Nations squad for 2025. All these players are in fantastic form at the minute, and it's a very, very exciting squad. Is this squad strong enough to win the 6Nations this year? Big question on everyone's minds. Scotland have only won the 6Nations competition back when it was still 5 nations. I think if there was ever a time a Scottish team could rewrite or write themselves into the history books, that time is now with this squad. The quality they have across the board in all positions, the depth they have in all positions as well. That time is now. But the other nations are not going to make it easy for them at all. Let me know in the comments what you guys think of the squad. Who's in there that shouldn't be there? Who isn't there? Some of the newcomers in, are they deserved? Who's been left out that should be there? Let me know in the comments. Hit that subscribe if you haven't already. Let's get into it. Before we do jump over into this, I've decided that I'll only be covering Ireland and Scotland in this year's 6Nations. A little bit more insight, a little bit more dissect or getting into the depths of things for these two squads, the previews, reviews, all the fun stuff, predicted teams, all of that stuff, but only for Scotland and Ireland. Shout out to the Welsh, English, Italy, and French fans or subscribers. You guys will get a preview and a review when Ireland or Scotland play against you guys. Hopefully, because I'm narrowing it down to only 2 teams, I can get a bit more in-depth, a bit more time spent on these 2 teams. I hope so, at least. All right, looking at the squad. Like I said, it's exciting, man. It is exciting. And when I say, if there was ever a time for a Scottish team to win the 6Nations, that time is now. I genuinely mean that. The combinations some of these players have at club level, and the performances they're putting in, week out, in the Champions Cup, in the URC, and then some of the guys in the Premiership, and then that hopefully they can take that over into international or into the international stage with Scotland. The only problem is, and I think that's been Scotland's problem for the longest period of time, is there's so much excitement, there's so much build-up, there's so much talk about the Scottish team. And for a while, they've had a strong squad, and the players have been talked up. But then when it comes to the nitty-gritty, when it comes to the business end, when it comes to performing, they just seem to buckle under that pressure. If there was ever a squad that can do it, it's definitely this squad. When you say there's depth across the park in all positions, there's probably in every position, there's 1 or 2 players that can mix it with the best. And that's what you want, especially when it comes to these tough competitions where you've got to rotate your squad, and you want to be, and when injuries can occur, you want to know as the coach, regardless of injuries or regardless of how many minutes players have played, then that next man up mentality, you've got the same quality throughout. So guys off the bench, coming off the bench, or guys not in the 23-man squad, if injuries happen, they can step up and they can do a job, an absolute job. Not just a job, but they can really nail it for their country. Looking at guys like, not interesting, but exciting inclusions. Fergus Burke's the first one that comes to mind. The Kiwi born, obviously he must have Scottish roots, played with the Crusaders for the longest time, decided to come over to Europe. He's been playing with Saracens and been absolutely killing it for them at fly-off. Come in as Owen Farrell's replacement and has done an absolute job with the Saracens and gets a call up into the Scottish lineup. And how good, man, putting pressure on Finn Russell's spot. And takes out Adam Hastings' spot. I can't see Adam Hastings there at all. Is there an injury? Maybe. But takes out Adam Hastings' spot. And man, Adam Hastings is a quality player. So for Gregor Townsend to see what he's seen in Fergus Burke and obviously believes what he's seeing, that's the truth, and that Fergus Burke can cut it at international stage. How good, man. I've been watching him at Super Rugby level for the longest period. Just can't crack it into that All Blacks setup. Was always sitting behind the likes of Richie Mwanga at the Crusaders, so never had a proper crack in that 10 jumper, but has done wonders for Saracens. And then I'm looking at someone, Jack Mann, in the forwards. Man, that story is unreal. So 719 days on the touchline, on the sideline, getting over an horrendous injury, returns and then gets his debut senior call-up to the Scotland squad. How, like, playing well for Glasgow. I think it was 6 performances, outstanding performances, and he's into the Scottish squad. How good is that? I love a little underdog story or a come from behind story or comeback story. Do absolutely love that. And then you're looking at your stalwarts, man, your guys that have been there, done that. For the forwards, your Pierre Schoumans, your Jamie Ritchies, your Grant Gilchrist, your Xander and Matt Ferguson, your Jack Dempseys, your Rory Dodge. Oh, man, Josh Bayless, also fantastic off the bench when he does get opportunity. Really, really good. And then you're looking at your backs. Man, this back line, or the backs that you can put in there, Darcy Graham, George Horns there, Rory Hutchinson's been playing well, Hugh Jones, obviously Sione Toipolotu, then Blair Kinghorn, Duan van der Merwe, Ben White, Tom Jordan's been playing well, Kyle Rowe, Kyle Stain not getting the nod, only just come back from injury as well. He didn't get the nod there, but he'll definitely be next up if there's any injuries. Strong, very, very strong squad. Looking at the fixtures, so Scotland have Italy first up at home. So Scotland have 3 home games and then 2 away games. Italy first up at home is going to be that's going to be, I think, a high-scoring game. But it's going to be a game. Italy have got a couple of game breakers in their team. And it's probably a good game to have first up because I feel like there's so many teams underestimate Italy and then get caught out. It's good to have them first up. And then that next game versus Ireland, that's going to be at Murrayfield. That's going to be my game of the series. That's the one I'm looking for because obviously the 2 teams that I'll be covering this year's 6 Nations, and that's a big one there, man. So to be honest, I'm probably backing Ireland there. So I'll back Scotland in the first one. I'm probably backing Ireland in that one. And then England, Scotland at Twickenham can go. It's whoever rocks up on the day, to be honest. And you almost want to back England because it's at Twickenham, but the way Scotland and the players that are selected in the Scotland squad have been playing at the moment, I'll back Scotland there. Then Scotland versus Wales as a formality at Murrayfield. Said the same for the Ireland fixture versus Wales. Wales just not in a good position at the moment, and it's probably a matter of how many points Scotland are going to put on them. And then the last one, they should have won it last year. Scotland versus France in France. That's going to be a huge, and this could be a tournament decider right at the end, the last game for Scotland. So I'm looking at Scotland. And that's the thing. And it's been their issue for the longest time is winning those games that are absolutely needed to win. So your Scotlands or beating an Ireland or beating a France, those tough games, those small margins games, you want to be winning those games. And that's what Scotland definitely have been speaking about leading up into the 6 Nations and for the past couple of years. And that's something that they want to nail is, yes, we can win the games that we're supposed to win. Let's start the easier games. Let's start winning those tough games, those grinding out games, those pull up your socks, roll up your sleeves games. We want to start winning those ones. Man, and I can't wait for it. Let me know in the comments what you guys thought or what you think of the squad. Is it good enough to win the 6 Nations? Let me know in the comments. Hit that subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you next time. Bye.